Hey everyone, this is Mike, and today I'm going to be talking about the jobs in Endwalker that I am most excited about, going off from the job action trailer as well as the information that was given during the live letter. I'll be going through it per role, and I'll also rank the jobs within each role in case people were interested in my personal excitement ranking or whatever you want to call it. So let's start off with the tanks, seeing how that is my current main role. Honestly, nothing really changed here in terms of what jobs will most likely end up being my favorites. Gunbreaker is my current favorite job and will most likely end up in that spot again in the next expansion. The changes that we know of so far aren't really crazy changes that make me super excited for the job, but I also didn't need them to be. I think the current Gunbreaker already plays amazing, and I was hoping they wouldn't make too many changes to it. What they seem to have done is pretty much exactly what I wanted, so Gunbreaker will most likely be the first job that I level going into the next expansion. Next on the list will be Warrior. I'm interested to see how the shorter in the release will feel now that it also has that finisher move at the end of it, together with the onslaught changes so that it becomes a more prevalent part of the rotation, and both that and upheaval not costing any gauge. I feel like Warrior already got dumbed down a lot in the Shadowbringers, and this looks like it might make it even easier to play because you don't really care about your gauge at all anymore. Because the only thing that you really needed to save gauge for previously was to make sure that you could upheaval on cooldown, and also that your Storm's Eye refresh could happen as late as possible, but Storm's Eye already got made easier in the previous patch, and now upheaval is also losing that gauge reliancy, so it should end up being easier to play. However, shorter in release, the finisher, onslaught changes do make me interested to give it a try. So Warrior was most likely going to be the second job I would level anyways, because I'll most likely be progging the next raid tier on it once again. But I am curious to see how everything will play out, so it was high on my list of jobs to level anyways. Next up is Paladin. Don't really think I have that much to say about this one. I've come to enjoy the job in Shadowbringers, and I'll most likely enjoy it in Endwalker as well. I am interested to see how the new Confiteor combo is going to end up interacting with the rest of your kit, because we don't know if it's all gonna happen during Requiescat or if it's something that will come afterwards, because if it does come afterwards, then that means Goring Blade will probably change a little bit as well. So I'm looking forward to getting some more answers to that when the Mediator embargo lifts, but outside of that, I don't really have anything to add to Paladin. Last but not least, there's Dark Knight. Can't really say I'm all too excited for this job, to be honest. It was already my least favorite tank to play in Shadowbringers, and it doesn't look like this is going to change. Somewhere I was hoping that it would get another remake, because I was a really big fan of Heavensward Dark Knight, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. So unless there were more changes that we couldn't really see from the job action trailer, then this will most likely be one of the last jobs that I'll be leveling, looking at all of the jobs combined, not just the tanks. So let's move over to healers. First one on the list will most likely be Sage, not really a surprise over here. I've always been a fan of the barrier healers, and Sage is new, hence why it's an easy choice. Also, leveling it early will mean that a lot of others will still be grinding in Baja as well, so I would have a much easier time getting it from 70 to 80 if I level it early rather than Blade. But it does seem similar enough to Scholar that I'm pretty sure that I'll enjoy this job, and it also adds some extra flavor with the Eucrasia buff or whatever it's called, and also the charged actions. I've grown quite fond of these charged actions during Shadowbringers, and Sage does seem to have a few of them, hence why it puts it at the top of the list for me. Outside of that, I don't really know which of the healers I'm most excited about, if I'm being honest. Scholar didn't really get many changes from the looks of things, but again that also means that it will still be close to the Scholar that I know and love from Shadowbringers. Also, you get Summoner for free when you level it, and that job is looking amazing. White Mage, again, doesn't really seem to have changed all that much, but it has been my favorite healer to take into dungeons, although we'll see if that changes now that Sage is also in the mix. But seeing how it didn't get that many changes, it will mean that White Mage will probably still feel smooth to play, especially with the changes to the spammable GCDs that all of the healers got, so that Glare now has that shorter cast time. And then Astro also piqued my interest again with all of the changes that have gone on over there. So I'm looking forward to level all of them, and it will be a really hard choice to make on which one that I will be prioritizing. Then, melees. If I'm just looking at the job trailer, then Monk is the one that took the cake for me. However, after learning more about Reaper, now that I made a video on that, that will probably end up being my first choice. Again, just like with Sage, I kind of want to jump on the Baja train before that dies down, so that the first levels don't take too long. And looking at the job action trailer, I wouldn't really say that I was super hyped for Reaper, but after seeing Yoshi play it on stream, I got really excited for it. Has charge actions, lots of resource management, and it also seems to just flow incredibly well, so I'm super excited for that job. Monk will then have to come in second. I've already taken a liking to Monk these last few months, and with the changes that are coming in Endwalker, it seems to only get better. The only thing that I kinda dislike about the current Monk is the perfect balance window, and they're now going to be completely changing that mechanic into the Blitz mechanic, I think it was called, which is certainly an upgrade to just hitting Bootshine and Dragon Kick back to back. Ninja also has me interested again. It's my old main that I started the game with, so I guess it gets kind of bonus points from that, but the new skills as well as some of the interactions have me interested in the job again. Currently, I do enjoy playing it, but I wanted more to do during our downtime between trick attacks, so hopefully some of the changes that we are getting will address that problem that I have with the job currently. And if that ends up being the case, then it will once again rise higher on my enjoyment list of jobs that I want to play. That leaves us with Dragoon and Samurai. Samurai is currently my favorite melee to play, but it's going to have some really fierce competition with Monk and Reaper stepping up, but the changes coming to it also don't really have me super excited for it personally. I'll probably still enjoy it as much as I do now, but I wouldn't say that I am hyped for it, kinda like with Gunbreaker. I'll still really enjoy playing it, but I'm not particularly hyped for any of the changes, because I already enjoy what we currently have a lot. And then Dragoon, this one again doesn't really seem to have changed all that much, which again is good because I enjoy how the current Dragoon works. Just looks like you will get rewarded even more for hitting positionals, which I am a fan of, but outside of that you just get some flashier animations for your skills and that's pretty much it. So again, not too excited for any changes, but happy to see that they didn't change the job all too much because it already was pretty smooth to play. Then ranged. Nothing really changed here in terms of like my priority of what I want to play first. We got some flashy new stuff for Machinist, which I'm kind of hoping some of these new skills function the same as Drill, because that is what I currently enjoy most about Machinist, the juggling of the timed GCDs and then seeing where you can fit that hypercharge in. So looking forward to getting this one up as my first ranged. Dancer will be next. Seems like they're taking away some stuff when it comes down to your flourish procs, but they are then adding in new combo skills to certain stuff. So it looks interesting. Again, I think that I'll still be enjoying this one as much as I do now. And then Bard is at the bottom of the list because they didn't really seem to do much to it. Songs are getting extended durations, which I think is a good thing because it will finally make them line up for burst windows when we're looking at raid buffs. And well, I already thought Bard was alright to play, and it doesn't really seem like much will be changing to that feeling for me, unless the media tour has some extra information that would change that, but I doubt that would be the case. So Machinist I've always liked a lot, Dancer's always been fun to play, and Bard has always been kind of like alright for me, so it feels like it will stay in that order going into the next expansion as well. And that leaves us with casters. These are again going to be a tough choice for me because all three are looking pretty good. I have a feeling Summoner might be the first one I level, mainly because it's attached to Scholar, but I'm also really hyped to get my hands on this new job because it's looking just so much better than what we currently have. Black Mage would be a very close second, as I've become a very big fan of this job in Shadowbringers, and the changes are looking to be quite fun, so it's really high on my list. And then Red Mage, again, just looking like good old Red Mage but with some extra stuff, so I'm sure that this will remain among one of my favorite jobs to play. Ever since it came out in Stormblood, I've always liked this one a lot, and I've always hoped that they would stay close to the feeling that the job had back then, and even though they're adding some things here or there, it seems to stay close enough to its original version, so I'm sure that I will enjoy it again as well. But because not that much seems to have changed, I can't really say I'm super excited to try out the new toys, whereas I am really excited about trying out the other two casters, hence why Red Mage will probably be leveled last among my casters, as I'm just way too excited for the other two. And that rounds off all of the jobs. So there's a few jobs that I'm really excited for that I can't wait to try out the changes, and then some of my favorite jobs seems to have remained close to what they are already. So while it might not be making me super excited for the new stuff that they got, I am really happy to see that they didn't change too much, because that means that they'll most likely remain my favorite jobs going into the expansion as well. But it's always great to see that I'll be able to add new jobs to the roster of what I want to play often as well, because that is just what I enjoy the most. I really like playing different jobs, I enjoy my variety, and thus being able to add new jobs to what I want to play often is always an amazing feeling. If I had to pick out a few that I'm looking forward to the most, then it would be Gunbreaker, Warrior, Sage, Reaper, Monk, Summoner and Black Mage, as those are the ones I'm looking forward to playing the most, and then once those have made it to max level, I'll slowly be getting the rest up to that level cap as well, and then looking forward to getting to play around with their new skills, learning the new rotations, and that is what I enjoy the most most about Final Fantasy XIV. But that does it for me, so let me know what jobs you are most excited for in the comments and why that is the case. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.